cut up all it. I'm not gonna put a lot of onions in because you don't like a lot of onions.
Tiny.
They're tiny.
It's tiny.
You know what? Troy used to be like that. Trina's friend. Whenever he was there, I don't want onions, but that and so you could cut them up so small, and then you can't even taste them.
You can because you got the. It tastes like. I mean, you just get the taste of it.
Fred, you can't even taste the onions if I cut them up real small. You don't even know they're in there. You could dice up onions so small, you don't even know they're in there. So you know they're in there.
Tiny. I know they're in there. Because you know why I know they're in there? Because I know they're in there.
They're not in there. What's up, y'all? How
What's
you
going
doing?
on, y'all?
How you doing? Hello. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. So we ready to have a dialogue. Y'all ready for the snow? Fred.
Are y'all ready for the snow? This is going to be my first. This is my first snow, babe.
It is. It's not gonna snow. When you from up north, when you're from up north and you have snow, it's like when they say you're gonna have a blizzard back in the day, like when we were growing up in Brooklyn in like the 80s and the 90s, the 70s and stuff like that, and it was like it's gonna snow. That means it was getting ready to be a blizzard. And when they told us up north that it was gonna snow and it was gonna be a blizzard, now being 50. And from being a little girl, the snow was up to our waist.
That's a lot of snow.
I had pictures where the snow was up to your waist. You couldn't even get down the street. And so, when you come south and they talk about it's going to be a snowstorm, and it be this little bit of snow, it's like, that's not even a snow. But tomorrow,
well, for us, that's from the south, 3 inches of snow is a lot of snow.
people in Atlanta couldn't drive. So, I'm sitting here. Hello, how are you? Cornelia Payne said, my favorite couple. You're so happy to be your favorite couple. Thank you so much. So, I'm actually getting ready to make some chili for my husband. What's up, Paradise Bay? What's up? How are you, Minister Stepanetta? Yes, we're having service tomorrow. And wear your jeans and your sneakers because we're going to be in and out. We're going to have a serious service. We're asking that you bring sheets and bring, if you can, a towel.
Towels and sheets.
Yeah, someone said they agree with you, Fred. No onions. You can't even taste the onions. So I'm making my husband some chili because that's what he wants. And so we're going to make some chili, and I'm going to make him a grilled cheese sandwich, and we're just going to sit up and watch a movie and enjoy some husband and wife time. But we always have these crazy dialogues. I know we haven't done coupling in a minute, but we will be. We've
been really, I think it's really been since Thanksgiving.
Because we've been so busy.
Busy.
Iowa got 8 inches of snow, honey.
Iowa?
I think someone said Iowa.
Doesn't it snow there though? That's not like the South. I mean.
Darshell, what's going on? You mean ice? Yeah, it's a little bit of ice. So we're having this dialogue about needs and wants. And one of the things that he and I were saying is one of the worst things that you could do anybody for this nature if you are in a relationship or if you're not. Darshell, you just went up the timeline, and I'm just going to say Happy Founders Day to all the AKAs. I'm not an AKA, but this is going up the timeline, and I have plenty of friends that are AKAs. Happy Founders Days and happy Martin Luther King birthday to all of you. So when you have people who are in any type of relationships, you got to know the difference between a need and a want.
Yeah.
And a lot of women want to be married, but they really don't need to be married. Bam.
Why you say that though, man?
Because a lot of women and men want to be married. But reality is they don't need to be married. And I say that because if you deal with women and men who are so selfish or who have created an independent environment, I always say that it's going to be very difficult for a person to come inside a space that they have created for oneness.
I think in most cases though they don't know they created that space for oneness.
Well, that's
so you've been comfortable. Well, it's two sides, because one side you want to be with somebody,
right?
But you don't know how comfortable you are by yourself.
No, it's because they created an individual space.
Yeah, you don't know how comfortable you are by yourself until matters happen, things start happening, you start having disagreements and not even big conflicts, but like small conflicts. You don't stuff like just say you like your potato chips on the side of your bed, and the other person don't like stuff in their room at all.
Right.
I mean, once you start going into those type of things, that's when you kind of find out. And I think it's still a lot of people that have not admitted that they like being by themselves.
I think sometimes women have a tendency to waste their time when they're trying to fit into someone else's world or let someone fit into their world, that they've created a safe space of oneness. Because, I mean, that's true. There is called a safe space of oneness.
Space of oneness.
Yeah, I'm going to say it again. There is called a safe space of oneness where single women and men alike have created this safe space for them.
Now, I saw that.
Right. And even us, marrying people,
Yeah.
we want to know, how do you exist saying you want to be married and letting someone come inside a space that your shoes are where they are, your food is the way you like it, and you've created this quiet space that I don't have to deal with that. And so I think it's very selfish for people to say that they want to get married and they don't understand that's not really what they want. They really want a companion. And it's okay to say that. I mean, we're adults. They want someone to entertain them for a certain period of time.
Bam.
Bam what?
That's what they want.
No,
want somebody
they don't know.
Right. Because I saw my uncle.
Right.
He was single for years.
Right.
Probably over 20 years he was single. And even after he got married, he still has that safe space of oneness.
Yeah.
Like
he
still lives, even though he's married, he still really looks.
What do you do?
And acts single.
And I think people can be singly selfish. That means that they have created this space and they say, okay, I want to get married. And then they get married and then it doesn't work because they have an expectation that it's going to be like I have created it for myself. And you have to be honest. Men can see that just like women can see it. People can see that you said you wanted to get married. Nah, bro. You still single because they act that way.
I think that'll run a man or a woman off. Once you see that, you like, man, this person ain't really ready to invest. Not no real time. Once you start dating somebody,
but that's what it's about real time.
You can see that, but
yeah, it's about real time. A lot of people don't understand that. A lot of people want to be in relationships and they want to be married, but it's such an investment. It's such a serious investment. And you have to ask yourself a serious question. Are you willing to invest your single time? Are you willing to share your space? Are you willing to agree and disagree? I just like that. They just want, someone said, I just like it. They just want a companion. Even though we're pastors, we're realists, and we deal with real life issues. Some people just need to admit you want a companion. You want someone that you can hang out with. You want someone that you can travel with. You want someone to just do things with on a temporary basis. Then you go home, and then they go home.
And that's what a companion is, not a husband or a wife.
Right, and a husband is totally different. A wife is totally different. I think the danger in single relationships is they avoid telling the truth about what it is they desire. I enjoy my space with my husband.
Right.
I enjoy taking care of him as well as he take care of me. I enjoy, Fred, pick your shoes up from the floor. Fred, I enjoy that. I enjoy it. It's something that I enjoy. Now, what, babe?
No, I was just laughing because, we have things that happen that, you have things that happen as couples that it becomes your memories.
It does.
Right?
Like
I mean,
what do we do? No, we live now, bro. What's a memory? What? No, come on, Fred. What's a memory?
Nothing.
You can't say nothing in this time.
I'm just saying there are things that happen that, that become memories that you now share. Even though you wasn't so happy. You wasn't so happy at the moment it happened.
Was that when you shot that gun in the dining room? Is that what you talking about?
When I did what?
I promise you we did a GoPro on our head. This only happens. But thank God nobody was hurt. But it was something that we laugh about now. But at first, He was in the doghouse for a long time.
I was in the doghouse.
He was showing.
I was in the doghouse 2 hours.
Yeah, you don't stay in the doghouse
I don't stay in
long.
the doghouse long.
But that's another thing. A lot of people who say that they want to be in relationships don't know how to have a disagreement.
No, they don't. That's the biggest problem.
You don't know how to have a disagreement. And I think sometimes, and this is what's wrong. I can't stand when I'm counseling women or even you counseling men, and they go into marriage with an expectation that it's going to be like my mother and my father was married.
I'm glad you went.
My sister and my brother are married. I got family. That's their marriage. You can't compare someone else's relationship and have an expectation that yours is going to be the same way.
Even when I was looking at the family of fiance, you had people that were saying that
my
mom and my daddy was married for 32 years.
What does that
my
have
mom
to
and
do?
my daddy was, and you cannot base.
And that's wrong. That's wrong.
You can't base your relationship or
Based
you can't
upon what your
base
mother and your
your
father did.
marriage
Yep.
based upon
can't
your
do it.
mother and your father, because to be honest,
Yeah.
you really don't know
Yeah.
what they went through.
They only see, and I think what people do is they don't hear the conversations in the bedroom. They don't hear those disagreements. They don't see those things. So they have an expectation that our parents had a good marriage, because not that they never fought, not that they never had disagreements. You never saw it.
Yeah.
And because
you were covered from a lot.
Yeah, you were covered from a lot. And so suppose your mother tell you, nah, you don't want nobody like your daddy. Or no, you don't want nobody like your mama. And I think when people start dating, they sit up and they have an expectation that it's going to be like what I know. But what you know is not the truth.
It's not the truth.
And I think sometimes what happens is, in relationships, people have to do what's best for them. You have to do what's best for them. That means that I may not agree with certain things that other married people do. And Fred may not agree with other people do. But we know what's best for us.
We hear it all the time. I hear conversations when the woman will be talking about certain things that the man have done, right?
Right.
Or haven't done. You know, as far as, you know, the tire blow.
Right.
He let the wife change the tire. Or he let the wife, you know, take the trash out, or you know, it's just some of the stupidest things that a man would usually do. I hear and see a lot of times where women have to suffer through some stuff because they're with somebody that don't know how to be a man. Like, it doesn't come natural to them to even care about some things. And so, when you start basing your relationship off of what you saw your mother and what you saw your father do, and then you marry this person, and this person you married ain't got none of those skills. They don't have the skill. They don't even care about. Forget skill. Yeah. They don't even have the mindset to even care about that. That's something that they should do.
Yeah.
That's what reality sets in.
Yeah, but that's expectation. If you have an expectation while you are dating that it is going to be, then 9 times out of 10, it ain't gonna be that.
Ain't gonna be that.
It's not gonna be that. And I think a lot of times, it's like the girl today when she was like, she was trying on this girl today. She was trying on shoes, and she was looking, and she was like, "Oh, you like these shoes? Whatever. You know me. Anybody knows me? I always got an opinion about fashion and stuff like that." And I said to her, I like that shoe, the heel. And she says, "Yeah, it's for my wedding gown." And I said, "Oh, that's great." And I said to her, I said, "Marriage is a wonderful thing. Keep your friends out your marriage.
Keep your friends out your marriage."
And her girlfriend was standing there, and she was like, I said, "I'm telling you the truth. Keep your friends out your marriage, because they don't understand." And she said, "No, you're right." And I just had a little dialogue because she was getting ready to get married. There are men who really want to get married that are looking for single women. But single women have to understand that in your search, don't search for somebody like your dad. Men, don't search for somebody like your mom, because you don't know. Your mama could be telling everything to her girlfriend that she should not know, and vice versa. I think that a lot of times the word is expectation. The expectation while you are dating is that it should not be something that you know not of, but if you guys are going to continue dating, it should be what we need and what we want, and not everybody else.
Right.
and not everybody else.
Because you're looking for something.
Baby, her girlfriend ain't like it. She looked at me and rolled her eyes. and she looked at me and rolled her eyes. And there was one guy with it. He said, just like that. And I think he was the groom. And she was like,
Because the fact of the matter is sometimes you have too many people in your relationship, and that's why it's not working out.
I mean, but see.
I mean, for real.
But I'm going to tell you what the problem is, too. When you start talking to people about your relationships, and they say, well, we didn't do that.
Right.
Or, you know, well, I know somebody that didn't do that. And we all can go through a plethora of people who did things and it worked for them. But after a while, some things got to be beneficial to the people you're in a relationship with outside of the opinions of others.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? I think, you know, and it's sad to say, you got Lisa Bonet, she's getting divorced. You look at Megan Good and her husband, you know, filing for divorce. You ain't going nowhere. Period. Now, wait a minute. Now, this is where Jada and Will are the last people standing of all of the conundrum of marriage.
After all the foolishness.
After all of the foolishness.
They still standing.
But they're doing what's best for them.
Yeah.
Right. Everybody has to do what's best for them in a relationship. And even though people don't agree, it's what's beneficial for them.
Yeah.
Right? And so I am making a conscious decision with my husband. I am making a conscious decision publicly in front of 1,100 people. I am never going to divorce my husband. Ever.
And I'm never going to divorce my wife.
I don't care.
But it has to be, but baby, the thing about it is, it has to be, the conscious decision not to divorce can't come with, we ain't gonna have no problems.
No, but
you know what I'm saying?
The expectation.
That's the problem.
Yeah.
When you say, okay, I ain't gonna never get no divorce, but in your mind you're like, we ain't gonna never have no. No, Negro, you gonna have some problems.
Yeah, but we had
you're
enough
gonna have
problems
disagreements
in our lifetime not to want it in this marriage.
Yes.
And
we done had enough of problems to know what type of problems we're not gonna have. Right?
Yeah.
We have enough problems. I want to say that again. We've had enough problems.
Sure did.
In our lifetime to know what type of problems
we ain't gonna
that we're not gonna have. And so that's when it comes. Now that's maturity.
Yeah.
That's maturity. And you can make a decision that you're gonna make it through anything. When both people say that regardless of whatever happened, that we're gonna make it through as two mature adults.
Yeah.
And that value the covenant of marriage also. That's one thing that this society is lacking.
But marriage has now become a joke.
It is
to a lot of people.
Yeah.
It's people, especially you hear these young people, they're like, man, I'm good, I'm fine, I don't want no part of it, because people step into marriage with all kind of expectations. They step into marriage with secrets. They step into marriage with all of these innuendos that, you know, it's gonna be, you know, you're gonna be. It's the needs and the wants.
Yeah.
What do we need? You have to give some of the things that you need and some of the things that you want. It's so selfish today. And I'm just, even counseling women and men, it's so one-sided and selfish. And that's why I say to people, if you're single and you're selfish, don't get married.
You know what's amazing?
Don't do it because you'll bring that same selfish attitude into a relationship, and someone is just trying to share their world with you.
Yeah. Or
share their space. And if you selfish, you don't have no patience. You want to fight. If he farts wrong, can I say that? Flatulence. Then you're like, oh no. And it's like, nobody has any patience to fellowship. Nobody has the patience to date. Nobody has the patience in marriage. The expectation is, you better be this way, you better be that way, or it ain't gonna work. Right. Because I don't have to deal with. No, let me give you some truth. You do have to deal with something in a marriage. You do have to deal with something in a relationship. And if you're the type of man or woman that comes in selfish, they know it from the door. And they will say to you, thank you for your time.
Yeah.
Thank you for them draws. Thank you for this food. But you are not the person that I want to spend my life with, let alone another minute with. Because there are people who come in with this false expectation, and those are the ones that be the most selfish in any relationship.
That's the importance of counseling. The importance of counseling is when you go through, and we know a lot of folk, especially you black men, a lot of you black men do not like to go through counseling. But counseling prepares you for the conversation of, because I don't care who you are. You can be you can be in love as the day is long.
Yeah.
You still have to go through a process to become who you're going to become together. So there's who you were when you came into the relationship. And then there's who you become when you become one with the person. Because the Bible says that the two become one. In order for that two to become one, there is a process that has to happen. And you know what the problem is? Most people don't want to go through the process because the process is agitation.
Yeah.
The process is aggravating. And it's better, or it feels better. You know what, man? I'm going to just go ahead on and go my own way.
But you know what? One of the problems that I find too is why is it? And I'm gonna ask you this, and you don't know because you. One of the things that I commend you is not just being my husband, but being a man of loyalty. You believe in it. You just not cut that way. But why is it that men get married, but yet and still they still want to be with their baby mama on the side? They still want to cheat. Women cheat too. I'm not saying it there. But why is it that a man gets married and he's so selfish until he doesn't understand that it takes two? Now, women do the same thing. But there are sometimes women that will have more substance in some areas. And then he lacks in some areas. 65% of the time when we're counseling, it's because a man is not understanding selflessness.
Right.
Now, when you have two selfish people, it's a problem.
That's a problem.
But when you have a man that's selfish and he doesn't understand the balance that both of you have to pull the weight, or both you got to do things, it becomes more of the woman's situation because she doesn't want to fight. She's the one that just says, look, I forgive you. She's the one that's always compassionate because she's the nurturer. But yet and still, he doesn't get it. And he doesn't get it until she is fed up. But a woman will stay into something longer than a man. Women stay in stuff longer than men. Why?
I don't know. I think for a lot of men that go into those situations like that, they go in it. I think a lot of men do go in it with the hopes of this is gonna make me right.
So you saying men? There's some men that say
some men
she'll put me on the right path.
She gonna change me. She gonna change me.
But that's not right because if if a man says
I'm not saying it's right, but that's what I really believe. I think some of them go into the relationship with thinking that, you know, that this woman is she's right, so she gonna make me right, and they're not ready to deal with, and they haven't dealt with that part of their flesh or that part of them, and then they find out when they get into the relationship a little while that no, she's not the magic to help you change. You have to already come in, change, and come in loyal, and come in with maturity to be able to do that. I think a lot of men go into relationships thinking that this is gonna change me.
Your marriage is gonna change.
The marriage is gonna change me, and it doesn't.
So a man goes into the relationship thinking that
some men goes in
a relationship and say that she could change me. And do you believe that some women go into quote unquote marriage because what? Because she in love, or because she wants to be kept? Because there are men there. I mean, because they have a problem with their flesh, and women do too. But statistically speaking, more men do. More men say she could change me, or I'll change for her. You shouldn't go in with the expectation that a person can change you. You have to do it for yourself. Because both of us changed. We both changed.
But the difference is, baby, both of us value the covenant of God.
Yeah.
First.
That's true.
Higher.
That's true.
That was the conversation out the door, was our value of the covenant of marriage with God first.
Right.
Then our relationship. And I think what it is for a lot of people is they don't know. They don't have the value on it. They feel like if it don't work out, you know, Moses said I can do it.
Yeah. Two people. Let's just say this. You have two people. You got the woman that say, I could change him.
Right.
And then you got the men that say, she could change me. But nobody takes the stance of we shouldn't change each other. Because there's some of the things about you that I need, and there's some of the things about you that I want. But for me, I had to change in order to receive whatever it is that you're trying to give me. Because I never will forget when you said to me, you said, you're an alpha female. You said alpha females, a lot of black men don't know how to deal with alpha females.
That's right.
Because sometimes, and not all of them, sometimes with an alpha female, you go in, some men go in and they just, what did you say?
Trying to fight.
They try to fight and take.
They try to fight and you want to take, and you can't. You can't take anything from an alpha female. You can't fight an alpha female. There's nothing you can do with an alpha female but wait for her to receive and wait for her to yield. That's the only thing that you can do.
Yeah.
And a lot of men that have married women that are alpha females, they still fighting today.
Wow.
The relationship.
So it's a power struggle.
It's a power struggle.
Okay.
Because he's saying that she's not letting me be the man, or I'm not the man, and she's saying, well, Negro, you ain't doing what you need to do to be the man. Okay. So he doesn't realize that there is a way that he has to move in order for her to come to a place to be able to see, to yield. She hasn't found anything to yield to. So until she comes to that place, she's gonna keep fighting.
Wow. See, that's one thing when you remember when you told me, you was like, oh, you a runner. You a runner.
Yeah.
Keep your shoes on. You said keep your sneakers on. Nah, don't even take them off. You said, you'll see, you're gonna take them off yourself. And I think if more men had that mentality and understood that an alpha female, she has to take off her shoes. You can't rip them off her feet.
Ain't nothing you can do.
The alpha female, she has to take off her shoes. You can't come in and rip them off her feet. Because it's a way, I think, a lot of times that people miss dealing with women of color.
I was gonna say that a lot of men they are running away from black women because they don't know how to be men that can come to a point to serve a woman in a way where she will yield, to serve and to be a man.
Wow.
Because there's a way that you can do that. You can serve, but yet still you can be all man. And so there's a balance that most men, a lot of these men, especially coming up now because they're not taught, they don't know how to come to a balance of being a man that can deal with a strong black woman. So they go to other races of people because they feel like, and honestly, they're different.
Wow.
They're different. And so as black women predominantly produce a lot, or our race predominantly produce a lot of alpha females. Yeah. It's in our genes. We're a nation of kings and queens. That's why.
Right, we're a nation of kings and queens.
So it's always gonna be like that.
That's just in our genes.
It's the strong black female.
Yeah.
She's born like that.
Okay, so she was born that way, and she was created that way, and we understand why was she created that way, because we were dealt cards that we weren't supposed to play that hand, and so you can't blame us for something that's not our fault. So a lot of my sisters who are singles are feeling the weight over something that we were not responsible for, and that's not right. So now, instead of looking at the facts of it, what can I do as a man to make myself better so that I'll know how to handle the black woman, instead of just pushing her aside like she has no value. Right. Or I could, and I'm gonna be honest with you. People call me a feminist. They can say whatever they want to, but thank you for not taking the easy way out, Fred.
Well, it's easy to call somebody a feminist if you don't know what type of man you really are. Right. I had to, in myself, know that I'm all man. Yes. Or else you would have broke me. Yeah. Right? Because an alpha female will break you if you don't know who you are. Should she? And no, but there's nothing she can do to change. Yeah. This is the one thing that I came in the door telling you, I ain't trying to change you at all. That's right. There's a reason why I said that. You did. Because if she tries to change it, becomes something else for him or otherwise, then she's not herself. Wow. And so then you lose the part of her that you really need. And she's still supposed to be that person. She is still that mother of nations. So I mean, a lot of men just have to come to a place to know when to stand up. I do know when to stand up. Yeah, you do. Right? And the wonderful thing about you, when you do put your foot down, it's not done in an assertive, there you go, derogatory, aggressive way. It's like, it's like you want to do it. Yeah. You want to, now, and you just want to do it. It's like I'm honored. You can feel my love. Yeah, it's not done mean, nasty. I'm not called names and slammed upside the wall. It's when you speak, because of the way you handle me,
it's like an honor to say, yes, friends,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. You know it's not coming out of a place of anger.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I don't handle you out of anger.
Yeah.
I don't handle you out of place. If it's not coming out of a well of love.
Yeah.
Then I'm not going to say it. If
Right.
I don't speak when I'm angry.
Yeah. No, you don't. You don't.
I always wait.
And one of the things that I love about you is like you'll say, "Don't do that." You know, like you. It's like I mean, even with
That's
the
the most
kids,
assertive
it's
I
like,
do.
"Don't do that," and it's like, oh, okay. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so I think even women being the alpha female, the alpha man is also misunderstood.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't know how to navigate through this life. That's why counseling is so important.
That's what counseling.
That's why he needs to get with other men that know how to handle the alpha female.
Yeah.
So that it won't be a tug of war. A lot of people are having tug of wars in their house.
Oh, bad. Tonight, right now.
Right now,
Yeah.
we got a
Right
call earlier. Right now. And so what happens when there's a consistent tug of war? Because if you have an alpha female and an alpha male, a negative and a negative is really no power.
You end up, it's just a broken house.
So
And raise broken children.
what do you do? What does the woman do that's looking at me right now she has an alpha female disposition, her husband has an alpha male disposition, but he's also violent, he's aggressive, he is the Bible, I always tell women to study Nebo, right? Abigail, she was an alpha female, but Abigail was very subservient and she was submissive. But Nebo was the one that had the temper. And he was the one that was like, I don't care what King David said. You better not bring nothing out this house. And she had to disobey her husband to save her family.
Right.
And he got so angry that she did that until he had a heart attack. But his understanding should have been, she did this because she had to save the family.
Right.
And so there was no understanding. So what happens when there's no understanding in your house and you are alpha female and you're with an alpha male and they're combative because he won't have understanding and she even may not have a level of understanding?
Unfortunately, I think that's what happens to a lot of people, and that's when divorce does happen, because either one or the other is not mature.
Okay.
They have not come to a place of maturity, and they have not set with a company of people that can bring them understanding to what's going on.
Okay.
I think just having a conversation with two people that are strong, saying, let me tell you why this is happening.
Okay.
First, let me tell you what type of female you are. First, let me tell you what type of male you are. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
And it's I think some people think they married. It's a mistake. But if you go into it wrong, it can feel like a mistake because y'all ain't got no understanding.
Okay.
You know what I mean? I think a lot of marriages that should work out don't work out because you never came to a place of understanding.
What happens when a woman and a man or anyone in a relationship, because this is the world we live in, and anybody of this nature, because we're mature, because everybody's in a relationship and we're not judging anyone, but what happens when people are consistently fighting? It becomes a pattern. One week they fight, the next week they get along. One week they fight, the next week they get along. One week they fight. It's never it's always just cantankerous, and then it's never a, but the minute it's it's again. And this is their marriage. When you're in something toxic,
that's something you need to get out of.
Yeah, but
you got no choice.
But then they turn around and say, "But we love each other."
That's when I'm gonna let it be.
But we love each other. Just because two people love each other doesn't mean that they're supposed to be together. Just because two people love each other, it does not mean that they are meant to be together. Because it takes a level of understanding in any relationship that you have that this is not going to always be a cantankerous environment. And I think what happens is, it's just like Liz said, you get in a toxic cycle in a relationship. And you get in this toxic cycle, and the only thing that you do is you need to just vent a little bit longer to stay a little bit longer.
Right.
And so when you just keep venting and you stay in toxic, both of you are not getting what you need or what you want. The bottom line is you're living a life which is a headache. And nobody should want to live that way just because they're married. I got a problem with that.
Right. And for me, if the communication is that bad and it's still not coming together, and when you do communicate, it turns into a fight, it turns into an argument, that's when decisions have to be made. You have to make a decision because you're losing time, you're losing minutes, hours, and days.
Right.
And sometimes, sometimes you got to know when to call it. It might be love, but that love should tell y'all ain't gonna get along.
What about if two people take a break?
Yeah.
What happens if two people are so, it's like, this is just not, and they say, look, let's just take a break. I mean, could you do that? But should you do that if it's toxic? No, I don't. I think that when you have a situation and you guys are at each other's throats and you say, let's take a break, you shouldn't take a break, because what you have done is your door is already open for anything to come in that feels like peace for you to connect with. And what happens is you set yourself up for danger. I think that if you guys get into a situation and couples counseling is working, or if something's got to change, I think first people have to identify what the heck is the problem in the first place. And if you can change the trajectory of the problem to get a solution, that means if me and Fred fighting about an onion, and we fighting, and he don't like onions, and I like onions, and he says I don't like onions, are we just gonna fight about onions? There's got to be a mutual understanding. And I think the dangerous part of it, no one gets a mutual understanding about how to handle a situation. The mutual understanding is we have to separate. We gotta get a counselor. Whatever it is that the problem is, whether it be the children, whether it be how you eat, no matter it's the finances, whatever it is, you gotta identify it, and you have to love them enough to change the situation. Someone said, no breaks, don't leave the space. It's true. It's true. If you are in anything and it is cantankerous, and you leave that space without an understanding, it is dangerous. And you may not make it back.
It's just gonna get worse. Because it hadn't been dealt with.
Right.
It's just gonna get worse because it hadn't been dealt with.
Right. I think with, if I could do statistics here, there's like 1,300 people, and I know that there's a lot of single women in the world, and of course single men that want to be in something. I need y'all to identify what the something is first. What do you want? And if you want to be in anything, whether you're single or married, you have to be ready for it. I ask this question all the time in counseling when we're counseling people. I say, listen, if you knew somebody that you was connected to was unfortunately dying, and they had a fatal disease, and the antidote was on the top of Mount Fiji, would you please be honest? Would you go up there and get the antidote to save their life? And I wait to see how long it takes for them to respond. If they immediately say, yep, I will in a minute. But if they go,
right,
what's up, listen to more. If they make a joke, if they don't answer it directly, then I know that's a problem. Because immediately what love does, it's sacrifice. And so if you're in anything and it is not a sacrifice quickly, then you know you have a problem. Then you don't have a problem. If you are single and you're a single woman, or you're a single man and you want to get into anything, first thing you got to do is identify your space. You got to identify your space. If you have created a space for oneness so independent in dating or fellowshipping, everything is going to be a problem. Because you've created an environment just for you. If they breathe wrong, that's a problem. If they sneeze wrong, that's a problem. If they don't pick up the phone, that's a problem. Whatever it is that caused you to be like, man, I can't do this, you have to ask yourself, is it that bad? Because you have created an atmosphere just for you. And I honestly don't think that a lot of people who really want to be married need to be married?
I think a lot of people go into relationships and don't go into a relationship asking for something that you're not ready to give.
Wow, say that again, Fred.
So if you going into a relationship, if I ask you, I say, well, what do you want out of a relationship? And you say loyalty, and you say, you know, somebody that's gonna be there. You say somebody that's gonna serve me. You don't go into you make a list of what you want out of a relationship. Be ready to give those same things. And I think a lot of times people go into relationships and they go into it asking for something that they're not ready to reciprocate. I'm not ready to give that back, because when the rubber hit the road and the disagreements come and the problems come, you find out real quick you want patience, but you're not really ready to be patient.
Wow, say that again. You want patience.
Yeah, you want the person to be patient with you, but you're not ready to be patient with them.
But that comes from selfishly single.
And it comes from
creating a space just for you.
Right.
And I think what happens, and that's why I really want women to really think about it. How long have you been single? And have you been so single enough until you are so selfish, until share my space now, you ain't coming up in here and doing that.
Mm-hmm.
Or I'm not willing to compromise because I don't have to.
Right.
You know what I mean? I think when people are not willing to compromise because they've been single for so long, then it's unfair for them to try to get into something when they have not learned how to share in the sandbox.
Yeah. And the other person, though, the person that you come into contact with or you dating, they don't know. They don't know that you have not matured in the area. So you got person after person wasting their time with this one person that have not come to a place of maturity to even say that I'm not ready to be patient. If they don't do it this way, then they out.
What happens when women and men sabotage something that could have been a good thing?
I think that happens all the time.
Because people sabotage good relationships because they're scared.
Yeah.
They're scared.
They're hard.
They're scared. I think there are people who self-sabotage really good relationships or the potential of having something because they're so afraid. And I think they have to deal with what it is. What are you so afraid of? What are you so afraid of? What are you afraid of? What is it? And so once you can identify what is your fear, the first thing they say is getting hurt again.
That's it.
But if you want to be in anything, that's the risk you take.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people, especially single women, they don't want to take that risk anymore. So they rather be single. So it becomes what is it?
Anomaly?
No, it becomes a double-mindedness.
Yeah.
It becomes it's like
unstable.
Yeah, it becomes unstable. And then when you don't know what you want and you get out here and you start fellowshipping again, you fellowship unstable because you don't know what stability
really
is, because fear won't let you say, I want to take the risk. Fear will, and that, I mean, think about it, that's deep.
Yeah.
That's deep.
You don't want to give up you say you want it, but as soon as your heart starts feeling a certain way, you sabotage it.
You sabotage it. Well, we having a good talk while I'm making this chili. Someone said abandonment. What are you afraid of? Everyone is asking the question. So you have to ask yourself as a single man or a single woman, if you are afraid to get back out here, you have to ask yourself, what are you afraid of? And if you say to get my heart broke again, then you don't need to be out here fellowshipping, because you have to take a risk in order to find that. And if you don't want to find it and you don't want to take a risk, then you're going to crawl back into your shell of singleness, your shell of safety, and your shell of independence. And nobody's going to want to be able to, take that chance with you, because this is what you've created. Wow.
And going into a new relationship.
Someone said, I don't want to be bothered.
Yeah.
Someone said, this is so true.
Yeah.
I'm going to say this one thing and then I'm going to go. This woman just went up the timeline and said ghosting ruined her marriage.
Wow.
Ghosting ruined. You are fine, Fred. Come on, Fred. You're fine, so.
Love you, baby.
Love you too. Ghosting ruined her marriage. If you're in anything and someone disappears on you, you got a problem. If you're in anything, especially a marriage, ghosting, that means
I know what it means.
her husband goes, he disappears on her. Why is he still your husband though?
Right? That's what I'm trying to figure out.
If your husband is ghosting you and he disappears, then why is he still your husband? That doesn't make sense. That's not a husband. Whew. All right, we gotta go. Anyway, I'll see y'all tomorrow at service. Wear your jeans and your sneakers so we can deal with the devil and reveal his madness. I love you guys. Someone said, when is the marriage conference coming? It's coming very soon. We're going to have talks with the married people inside of the sanctuary. And then we are going to be putting it up when the marriage conferences will be. But the single, someone said, I'm lost. Why are you lost? Unbalanced. Betty said, I'm unbalanced. What causes that? Okay, y'all got to go and have this dialogue, because some people are logging on and they missed it. So you missed the whole conversation. What I was referring to is people who are so single. They get out here and they start dating or fellowshipping. Then they get out here and they're like, nah, I'm scared. But then they go home and they're like, no, I want to be in something. So you have an unbalance. So you get out here fellowshipping and you're unbalanced. You don't know if you want to be with somebody. You don't know if you want to be with, I don't know what I want to do. So you become so unstable until you get out here and you're dating with instabilities or being unstable. Yeah. And that's dangerous, because someone can get hurt. You could go and start dating somebody, because these brothers today, these men are pursuing. It's a new breed of man that's coming now, and he is going to pursue you. He ain't going away. I ain't talking about no stalker. I'm talking about somebody that really wants to be with you. You could push him away if you don't know what you want, because you have an unbalance. That means I'm afraid of getting hurt, but I do want to date someone, but I don't know. Single conference, we having Swag is having a conference very soon. I don't know what date it is. You got to inbox Michelle about that. But the married people, nah, we get ready to have some talks, because the single people are looking at the married people and they're like, nah, I don't want to do that. But there's some good marriages. Some people still want to get married. And if this is you, it is obtainable. It is obtainable. Anyway, we love you guys. We'll see y'all tomorrow at service. Right, bye-bye?
See you tomorrow.
All right.
Jeans and t-shirt.
Jeans and sneakers, come relax.
Yeah.
All right. All right, bye-bye.
All right.
All right. See you guys. Someone said, where are they pursuing? They are. Trust me, they are. I've had several of my friends who are in relationships now, and if you believe it, please receive it. Go to counseling and make yourself ready. All right? Do some inward work and some outward work, and do something different. Read the book, A Needle in a Haystack, because it is true. Some of you are going to the same old watering hole when you have to, oh, that was good. Where you have to do something different. One young lady just went to Timeline. She said, I asked my boyfriend, would he go to the Fiji Islands and get the antidote for me? And she said, he told her, I'll get a helicopter and get it. That's a good thing. All right, we got to go. Love you. Someone said, my husband is coming, child. They go mine right there. And listen, we are married after divorce. We have the most amazing, amazing friendship and marriage. And what you see on Facebook is not even friendship. It's not even a half of it. God bless me. And if he did it for me, he'll do it for you. Listen to more. Love you. Love you all. All right. Bye-bye. See you later. Bye-bye.